and welcome to Nuance with Nikki, where we focus on the nitty-gritty even when it's shitty. Today's focus, words that are offensive in South Africa, but not anywhere else. Now, many visitors to our country don't realize that these are historically offensive words in South Africa. This is because we don't impose this on others. If someone comes to South Africa, we just give them the benefit of the doubt. We know they don't have our historical context, and we know that words are different all over the world. Did you know that historically the word native in South Africa was used in very racist ways in all of our racist laws, especially to disenfranchise Black, Khoisan, and colored people? Similar to the word which we'll see in the next slide. Now, I was very surprised when I went to America and many people just freely threw around the word Bantu. This is because I had very negative connotations with this word. When I was a little kid growing up in apartheid, the word Bantu, the word native, and the word Muntu were used in South African news as follows. Tonight, 5 people and 7 Bantus were killed in a car accident. I'm not kidding. Even though the word Bantu simply means humanity, it was used as a way to dehumanize Black people in my country until I was 8 years old. Now, the words maid and madam were very loaded in South Africa when apartheid ended when I went to school. My mom used to hate if anyone called her madam. This is because she is a colored South African, and Black people would have been expected to call her madam, whereas my mom and I would have been expected to call white people madam. Okay, it kind of got tricky with me because I am both colored and mixed race. We'll explain the differences in another video. We'll get to that. Let's focus on this. Now, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, we would love to have you visit our beautiful and diverse rainbow nation. Perhaps if you want to show respect, you might consider using some of the more respectful alternatives that I've put up on the board. But don't stress about it too much. You see, in South Africa, we appreciate that all over the world there are different people. We pride ourselves on loving diversity. Our national motto, just be patient with me here, it is that means unity in diversity. In fact, we have a whole national holiday to celebrate diversity and differences, because to us, the opposite of racism is not pretending that differences don't exist, but rather seeing them and celebrating them.
When we are born, we are not only born to our families, but to a larger society, making up families, society, and even a country like ours, South Africa. Our traditions, customs, and heritage also are integral to our being and existence in terms of our identity, culture, and heritage. In order to celebrate these, a conscious decision was made to dedicate September a Heritage and Tourism Month.
Hey guys, sorry I fucked up. I misspoke there. It wasn't like many people used the word Bantu. It was just like at the hair shop or people who asked about Southern Africa and who knew about it, they would use it very freely and confidently. Sorry about that. I misspoke.
Out, and then I begin and start twisting my hair to prep for the Bantu knot.
Whoa, Mzansi, South Africa. Before you come for me, wait for my video on colorism and the history before apartheid, where we talk about how words were used, né? And a football called Governor Milner. I'm getting to that. Once again, I truly apologize for the mistakes I made. I trust you guys understand that racism is a very heavy and difficult topic to talk about, and I'm only trying to share understanding. So where else is South Africa like diversity? Well, in our constitution, it's written, "We the people of South Africa recognize the injustices of our past, honor those who suffered for justice and freedom in our land, respect those who have worked hard to build and develop our country, and believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity." The point I'm trying to prove is, in South Africa, you don't pretend the different races don't exist. You don't try and force somebody to be something they're not. Instead, you celebrate who they are. It is important in the African context to see a person and to appreciate them. That is the African spirit. Let's see where else South Africa has diversity, in language and in song.
We call ourselves by different names, and none of those names say we are black. We recently started calling ourselves abantu abamnyama. We recently started calling ourselves Batu Babantu, in translation of the appellation we were given by the Europeans, black people. So in translating black people, we started calling ourselves Abantu Abamnyama, but we were never called Abantu Abamnyama. We have always called ourselves by what we called ourselves. Singamaxhosa, Rebapedi, Mavenda, Mashangani. We never called ourselves by color.
What I love about what he is trying to communicate is that African people deserve the same respect, deserve to be seen, and deserve to be as acknowledged as European people are. Not just as white people, but as Scottish or Dutch or French. When I was in New York, I was talking to one person and I told him I am a mixture of Xhosa, Tswana, Dutch, Scottish, Greek. And he said to me, okay, so you're Scottish, Greek, Dutch, and African? He had no frame of reference. He just put everybody under one umbrella. This is not okay. The world needs to know about the different beautiful African traditions. In South Africa, we make it a point to celebrate those and to differentiate.
This to advance our unity in our diversity by remembering the cultural heritage of the many cultures that make up the population of South Africa. Heritage Day on 24 September was declared a public holiday in recognition and celebration of our cultural wealth and diversity as a nation. This is reflected in our glorious history, our World Heritage Sites, historical artifacts, and in the human treasures still living amongst us. Heritage Day is about celebrating South Africa's rich tapestry of people with their varying languages and cultures. It is about observing what unites us, what makes us stronger to withstand testing times as we build a truly non-racial, non-sexist, united and prosperous nation.
And I'm not saying my country is perfect. We've still got so much work to do. Give us some time. We're only 30 years old. Next year, right? We're a very young country.
Let us recommit to increasing our efforts to root out the ills still plaguing our society. These include the violence which continues to cast a pall of fear on the people of our beautiful land.
One of the ways in which we still have to grow, for example, is understanding the difference between a language and the clan the person comes from. For example, just because a person speaks isiXhosa doesn't mean they want to call themselves isiXhosa. I've heard some people say that they want to call themselves uThembu. So for my Xhosa people, what do you guys have to say about that? Enlighten me. I'd love to learn. The point is, in Africa, there are people that are striving for blackness not to just be reduced to a color, but to be acknowledged for what it is: a rich, diverse, multifaceted tapestry of beauty and gorgeousness that no other continent, and I'm not being biased, I'm a traveler, I'm telling you, no other continent has what we have. For example, we have the most genetically mixed race community in the world. This community has got ancestry with the Khoisan, the oldest people in the world. This community speaks Afrikaans, the youngest community in the world, which we invented, right? Our Arabic and African and Khoisan ancestors helped develop it from High Dutch, which was very difficult to speak. The white Boer people then took it and formalized it after the British tried to force them not to speak it. But when people were starting their segregationist rules, and even before that, when the people who are Creole people, we don't know the word Creole in South Africa, we know the word colored, when we were emancipated, we were given, or we gave ourselves the name colored. It became formal later on. But it isn't even an English root. It comes from Dutch. It comes from the word kleurlik, and another word is bruinmense. Most South Africans do not call themselves Creole because they've simply never been exposed to French. I have, but I've worked in Mauritius. Je parle français un petit peu, mais pas bien. But that's unusual in South Africa. In South Africa, people speak English. Ons praat Afrikaans. Nikulume Zulu. Some of us can say Kibwa Setswana. Others will say Ndithethe Xhosa and Yaxolisa Andithethe mina. But that is how it is in Africa. Okay? Blackness is not a monolith. Mixed raceness is not a monolith. Okay? And the experience of mixed race people is not uniform. For many of us, when we say the word colored down south here, we mean the colorful people of our nation. And there are many, many different shades and colors. And we're incredibly proud of that as a country. Now, at the time of recording, there is a huge debate going on in the African diaspora about South Africa's use of the word colored. At the moment, this is being received as a hatred for African Americans specifically. Now, hate is a very, very strong word. And if there's one thing I don't want African Americans to think, is that South Africans hate them, right? This is a country that has spent decades spending money on African American artists, supporting them, and actually has had a relationship with Americans dating back 400 years, which you guys are not educated on, but which we happen to have learned. I'll explain more later. Thank you so much for sticking with me and watching. But folks, this video is getting too damn long, so I decided to cut it out here, okay? But I'm ready for you. So, in our upcoming videos, we'll discuss how South African culture differs from American culture. And I'm going to do my best to answer as many questions as I think that you guys have. So, are South Africans just being colorist? Are South Africans defending anti-black attitudes? Don't South Africans appreciate the depth and pain of the Jim Crow laws? Guys, these are fair questions. And I feel that African Americans deserve answers. In the meantime, guys, I'm sure you've noticed by the way that I speak that I'm actually an educator. I work with little kids. So, got you guys a homework assignment. Would you guys ask yourself the question, why would so many full-blooded black women stand together for a group of mixed people? Because black women have come out, they've been white people, they've been Indian people, mono-racial people, standing together for a group of mixed people in South Africa. What is that about? It must seem a bit crazy to some people, okay? I'm gonna do my best, but in the meantime, you gotta like, you gotta subscribe, you gotta hit the notification button, and please give me a chance to do this. And let me be clear, my reason for doing this is that I want to spread love. I do not want African Americans to think we hate them. We love you guys, no matter what you think, okay? But I can't explain that if you don't let me explain that. Cool, take care, bye guys.
Sounds the call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live.